The Detroit Pistons are back on a 7-game winning streak, and we're going to get right into why. And I think the biggest reason is obviously their franchise player, Cade Cunningham. We're going to see what Cade has really been up to, as he's honestly been in a really dominant state. Great catch and shoot opportunity there, right? As Cade's been able to show his range as a shooter. And again, great job here getting Dyson to be on the outside shoulder. So that way Cade's able to take him just about wherever he wants. And then Cade's always been a really good finisher / attacker, where he's always been at his best. And again, now he's going to try and call up for the Beasley screen. And again, now he gets that separation, is able to pull it from 3. Cade's been nothing short of remarkable this year, averaging 26, 6, and 10 on 46 from the field, 37 from 3 on 6 a game. So that's elite, considering the volume. And then 85 from the line. And this Pistons team is 14th in offense. And again, I genuinely believe Cade Cunningham is the reason for that. This dude might be playing all NBA caliber basketball right now. And again, I think he's finally showing people, once he was given some form of legitimate spacing, now that he can help get the floor spread, he can really be the floor general everyone sort of described in calling him, a worse Luka in his draft comparison. And then again, right, great job here filling the lane by Cade. Does a great job there finishing. And again, moves to get back. And again, gets Daniels one-on-one. Now you got Dennis Schroeder. Now he gets his man in the post, which is nice. Because again, I like the fact that he's a guard, but he could play bigger, right? Like, he does have that size advantage. And he does a great job of just reaching over Daniels to get into the attack. And again, now they get the DHO running. Duren tries to set a screen, not the best screen, right? Daniels is able to very easily just step over it. But again, now Cade's feeling it. The 3 ball is just falling. And you understand now why. He's getting into better separation. Teams have to respect him one-on-one a lot more. And he does a great job here, right, as he pushes in to attack Daniels. Daniels tries to go in to try and possibly get the steal. He gets him off with the shoulder and gets the midi. Right? Cade's been nothing short of remarkable as a scorer. But I think it's also important to talk about Cade, the playmaker and passer. Because obviously, I think without Cade being the passer and playmaker that he is, this Pistons team would be terrible again. So again, he's able to stop, slow it down, does a great job here, recognizes Thompson's open, Trae Young's the only dude that could get on him, so then he gets a dunk, right? The play recognition of Cade, he's such a patient passer and playmaker, which I think is his, easily one of his biggest strengths as, in that part of the game. I think when you're patient, when you can wait for things to develop or show themselves, that's a sign of someone who could truly become elite at that part of the field, right? Great job here. He waits, right? He goes, he draws in the man, right? So that way he could just dump it right out to Hardaway Jr. and get the 3, which is important because, again, I think these role guys have been huge too, because now teams have to respect the Pistons from outside. They don't have to, just go all on the interior and just load up, right? Because this is fantastic here. Cade just waits, man comes over, one more, weaves the ball perfectly in between the beef stew, who obviously is going to slam that down. And again, Cade has just been remarkable in terms of facilitating for this team. Again, man's open, calls for it. And then again, Beasley has been nothing short of remarkable for this team. The dude's shooting 39% from 3 on 9 a game. So he has been elite. Schroeder gets a little floater, right? But again, now that Cade actually has teammates that can somewhat create for themselves / even just catch and shoot, we see how much more effective he really is, right? He pushes, gets it up, and just gets the yam. This is incredible basketball, and it's a big reason. Again, Cade is finally showing what everyone thought when they said he was number 1 overall. He's finally stepping up and showing what people should have faith in when the Pistons were going crazy because they got him first overall. But he's not the only young player that I think has been a huge, staple of this team. The other young staple I want to talk about is Ausar Thompson. He's got 9, 5, and 2 on 55 from the field, 22 from 3 on about 0.9 a game. So, he's not a good shooter anyways, so it's bad, but take that as you will. And then 59 from the field, but with 3 stocks or steals and blocks. Now, the Pistons are 14th in offense, and they're 11th in defense. And again, just like his brother, I think Ausar is a major reason why, right? So he goes to get back into the play. He doesn't let things get out of hand. He just waits. He sees James is looking out, right? Because there's an open man, and he just is able to get the snag and now help the offense start to go. And by the way, Thompson's averaging 9, 5, and 2, right? And then Thompson, again, his ability to read passing lanes / maintain them is nothing short of, like, right here, right? He knows James is going for that pass. He's able to then immediately discard it, and then the Pistons could get the basketball. Again, that is the brilliance of Ausar Thompson. He's able to, like, look at what he's able to do here. James comes up the court, forces him to dribble up, gets both hands up, over, boom, snatches it out, and then can immediate. And then we're not gonna talk about that. I don't know what that was. We're just gonna be honest. We saw nothing. But again, Ausar Thompson, being the lockdown that he is, right, slows it down. Bogdanovich tries, pokes it out, loses the ball, and then they can just start moving. It's genuinely remarkable what this kid is able to do. I think his defensive presence is unlike what we've seen from a lot of young players. The only other one is his brother, right? And again, now they're going to try and force the pull. Comes over. Ausar waits. Man goes up, gets a piece of it, doesn't allow the late buzzer beater. Again, this team is on a 7 to 8 game win streak. And because of young guys like this, because Cade's gone nothing short, boom, right? Like, the defensive effort of Ausar Thompson. This is in the clutch, too. You got 4 minutes left, 7-point game, right? And he's able to get a piece of it, but now he's got to get back up and get ready, and they can just start pushing. I think Cade and Ausar, like, they're two different sides of the ball that have completely changed for this Pistons team. And again, I think Ausar Thompson is a part of this future just because of his defensive, abilities. Now, I don't think he'll quite be as good as Amen, but I think that's just because, again, he's not going to have the ball handling opportunities because there's a Cade Cunningham, and he's undisputably going to be their primary ball handler. Even then when Jaden Ivey comes back. But again, Ausar is a big reason this team is 11th in defense. And then I want to talk about a guy overall that I think has sort of been not discussed enough, Jalen Duren. And it's interesting, Jalen Duren is a player that I think Pistons fans are sort of divided on, but he's giving you 11, 10, and 3 on 69 from the field. He doesn't shoot any threes, thankfully, and 69 from the line. And again, I think Duren is a part of a cast with Beasley, Tobias Harris, these guys that actually end up really complimenting Cade super well. Duren does a good job here getting the screen, so Ayo switches completely onto him, right? Cade tries to take this jump back. Instead, right, Duren does a great job, gathers, waits, Matthias is on his back hip, so he's able to just come right back down and slam it, right? And again, Duren is a limited scorer. Like, he's not, like, we don't have to lie, right? We don't have to act like he's anything crazy, but again, you got to have some form of other rim attack presence that isn't just Cade or a Jaden Ivey, right? So then Thompson's going to get the board, right? Waits, goes back over to Duren. Duren does a great job, by the way, of just waiting, right? Like, even when, like, he goes here and, like, the ball comes out, he does a great job. He separates, right? So now Vucevic is sort of waiting over by Thompson. So then the ball goes out to Duren, and at that point, there's nobody there. So Duren does a good job of filling his lane and making sure that, other guys are not going to be there to stop him. And again, gathers, waits. Right now, you got Ayo and Kobe White, but he's just bigger than both of them, and he just goes down. That's the thing I like. Jalen Duren plays to his size. Pause. But again, I think this guy is probably their franchise center. Unless they get an opportunity, they are able to draft someone crazy at the center position, who I don't think there technically is anyone like that. I think this guy is easily their franchise center for now. And again, I think he's a big reason that he's developed as a defender, which I think is important, right? Because a big negative about him that, every Pistons fan would tell you is, he's not, a very good defender. But I think he's drastically improving, right? He does a great job here of poking out from Herter, right? He fights for it. He goes up. And then they can just go. And then right here, by the way, fantastic pass for a big. Like, he averages 11, 10, and 3, right? But a pass like that, like, that's a good pass for someone who doesn't really, that's not his job. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to say Jalen Duren is like a crazy third facilitator player. But again, now Duren is out on IO and does a good job of snatching the ball up and, gets the foul on the way up. So again, this Detroit Pistons team, what do I think about them? I think they will probably weather the storm, and I think they'll stay around that 6th seed. Now, do I think they're going to make any crazy playoff run? No. They would have to face the Knicks in the first round, and I think, again, unless, the Pistons just completely become a juggernaut on defense, I don't think they're able to keep up with that Knicks offense. But if you're Detroit, this is huge because you're finally getting a sense of a genuine direction with this team. Let me know what you guys think down below. As always, guys, this was Hamster No Soups. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. This team is something dangerous. And I think that now that they finally seen, a chance at the playoffs, now that they finally know what it's like to be competitive and over 500 for a long stretch of time, this team can be something special going forward.